This was an interesting debate, a heavy emphasis on the Middle East and the Islamic world, Israel, Iran, Pakistan, and Iraq and Afghanistan. And I think a difference in style. John Bussey's joining me again. John, you had the sense that that President Obama wanted an argument, Mitt Romney wanted a conversation or a debate. President Obama probably sensed that he needed to score some points here tonight. I think Mitt Romney wanted to look a little bit more subdued and not be seen as somebody who was bellicose or trigger happy. And in that sense, they probably both got what they wanted out of the way they performed tonight.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this was fascinating to watch. It was substantive. They're both two really good extemporaneous speakers. And Mitt Romney showed that he's conversant with a wide range of topics involving foreign affairs, which has not been his focus in his political life. So he kind of accomplished, I think, what he set out to do. And Obama kept the pressure on, as you said, much more kind of personally attacking or attacking the agenda of Romney, and Romney saying, look, you know, you can attack me all you want, but, you know, that's not what we're here to do.
Yeah.
What was also interesting was that this is supposed to be about foreign affairs, and a lot of it was about foreign affairs. But boy, the veering back to the issues that really matter to the electorate, and the polls show that, things like the economy, jobs, education, you could see them every opportunity they had.
Especially Mitt Romney. I mean, the Romney campaign's feeling all year has been in a day in which we're not talking about the economy as a day wasted. Well, he didn't waste tonight for that reason at all. But, you know, the tone that President Obama said at the beginning was fairly clear when he said something about, pretty sweeping about Mitt Romney. We'll look at it right now, that every time you've had something to say, you've been wrong, which was a pretty sweeping indictment. Let's listen.
I don't think there's a necessity to put our military in Syria at this stage. I don't anticipate that in the future. As I indicated, our objectives are to replace Assad and to have in place a new government which is friendly to us, a responsible government if possible. And I want to make sure they get armed and they have the arms necessary to defend themselves, but also to remove Assad.
Passage, John, in which the Governor Romney was doing what I said he was trying to do a second ago, which is to not appear as if he's looking for war. I think that there was a concern on the Republican side that because he's talked a little tougher about Iran and has talked tougher about helping the Syrian opposition engage in the civil war there, that he would be accused of trying to get the U.S. into another war in the Middle East. He says in Syria, I'm not going to do that, which is an important point for him to make.
That's right. And you heard the iteration after iteration on President Obama's part of reckless policies to try to underscore, to try to put boldface some of these concerns that people had. But as much as there might have been disagreement, here again they were agreeing, right? We're no troops. We're not going to go down that road again. No troops in Syria. The number of instances where they did agree on kind of fundamental policy was rather substantial. Even in the drive-by that China got. They got to play by the rules. Now, how we're going to get China to play by the rules? Nobody got
answer that one, right?
Nobody got into those.
I made a list of the things that they agreed on, or some of the things they agreed on. They agreed that the U.S. ought to be out of Afghanistan by the end of 2014. They agreed it was time for Hosni Mubarak to go in Egypt when the Arab Spring began. They agreed that tough sanctions are really the only real option at the moment in confronting the Iranian nuclear program. And Mitt Romney agreed that the use of drones to attack al-Qaeda operatives in Pakistan was and in the Afghan border area was a good idea.
Right.
Lots of things they agreed on even while they argued.
Yeah, that's right. And then they agreed on certain things. You could almost feel them checking off the box politically, kind of critical for the undecided voters. The number of instances where some version of women, respect, and dignity kind of came up in the same sentence as they both tried to signal to undecided women voters that I'm thinking of you.
Right, exactly. And the women's box was checked repeatedly by both candidates, which is clearly a domestic concern, not a foreign policy concern.
That's right.
A conversation on China that I think revealed nothing particularly new, but one that said essentially the U.S. posture toward China and trade relations is going to get tougher no matter who wins. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think that's probably true. It all really has. I mean, it's kind of been torqued up a little bit over the last 6 to 8 months because you have seen more actions, more enforcement actions. The problem is that this is kind of episodic, and I think that we were talking about this a little bit earlier. The idea that currency manipulation is kind of at the forefront of the Romney policy, and that tire tariffs are at the forefront of the Obama victories. Both of those are kind of gaseous, right?